is the thing. So we will start on the back. And then simply finding a comfortable place. So we're on the back, we've got the knees bent, the feet flat. And just releasing the weight onto the ground. So initially, we're just going to relax the back. We're going to experience where the weight is, see if we can release in those areas. And then simply gently flattening the sacrum. So using the hips, using the belly. And next time we inhale, as we breathe in, release the hips, let the ribs widen and let the ribs lift up a little bit off the ground. We'll feel the weight roll towards the tailbone. And when we exhale, just release the back, release the ribs, let the back sink down. And as we get near the end of that exhale, take the sacrum flat. Now, next time we're having the inhale and we take the ribs up, we'll just stay a bit longer. So find a comfortable place there at the top of the tailbone where we can have the weight. And then gently press down through the backs of the shoulders, bit of the shoulder blades. So we're going to create an arc along our spine. And then let's tuck the chin a little bit, lengthening the neck. And use the eyes looking downward. Now we'll hold here for a couple more breaths. When we inhale, expand the belly as well as keeping those low ribs expanded. And the next time we're breathing out, we'll release the back. And when we release the back, we're going to gently press the sacrum flat on the ground. And then work a bit with pressing gently at the back of the waist. And then simply relax the back again. Allow it to shift to whatever place it puts itself. And then when we're exhaling, bring the knees in. Take the hands around the knees. Just hug the knees in toward the chest. And when we inhale, let the knees slide out from the hands. Let the feet touch the ground. Rest the arms. And just get a nice big inhale, adjusting the ribs as we like them. And when we come to exhale, we're going to pull the knees in again. Use the hands, draw them in, And then this time, lift the upper back, head, shoulders. We're going to move toward our knees. And then when we inhale, we're going to put the head down, let the hands slide out let the knees slide out from the hands, the arms rest down. And when we exhale, pull the knees in, draw up again, coming shoulders and knees close. Same thing when we want the inhale, knees just slip out, arms rest down, head rests. Yeah, let's do one more. So at the end of an inhale, just stay released on the mat. And then bring the knees in close again. Now this time, touch the legs together. Bring the feet up just a little higher than the knees. And then working with the hips, with the belly, to see if you can lift the knees a little higher up, lifting in the hips. And then when you get an exhale, let the weight of the hips rest back on the mat. So for inhales, knees and hips reach up. It's only a little bit. On the exhale, they sink back down. Let's see if we can do a handful of these. So when we're exhaling, when we're releasing down, really do let go, because we're going to engage. We are engaging deep in the core on the inhale. And one more. And then reach the hands for the knees. So we're going to relax through the core, take the knees apart, move them toward the shoulders. Find the place where the low back is released. We'll get a breath or two here and expanding our low belly as we breathe. Big inhale to expand the belly, long exhale to sink it back into the hips. And then we'll bring the knees close together, and we're going to release the knees, let them slide out of the hands, let the feet touch the mat. And now take the right hand, put it behind the head, rest the head on the palm, and just give yourself a moment to let the head sink onto the hand. So when we're exhaling, we'll use that right hand to help the head lift. We use the left hand to help the left knee come close. And we'll get a long exhale. When it's time to breathe in, foot touches down, head rests down. And we'll just flow with our breath. Okay, we'll do our last one. So when the head rests down, we're going to take the hand away. And simply rest the arms for a moment. And then we'll work a little bit with the hips. We'll just maneuver the hips so we have our sacrum flat. And then we'll switch sides, left palm going behind the head, letting the head sink onto the hand. And when we breathe out, we'll lift the head. We'll bring that right knee in, right hand helping the knee come in. Inhale, they both touch down. Now we're going to give ourselves one more. And when we're finished, resting the head down, resting the arms away from the sides, letting the back release onto the mat. Now, adjust the arms so they're straight out sideways from the shoulders. We have our palms upward. And let's bring the feet closer to the hips. We'll bring the legs so they're touching. And just get the sacrum flat to start here. Now, tip the knees when you're exhaling. Tip them right. Turn the head, look left. And we're going to turn that left palm down into the ground. Turn a little further along the arm so the shoulder rotates up. Make sure the neck is comfortable. And then on the inhale, come back up. And let's travel to the other side on the exhale. And just flowing with our breath. Travel side to side. Now we'll do our last cycle. So knees going to the left side is our last time. And from there, coming neutral with the knees up. And you bring the arms a bit lower down, below shoulder height where they can rest. And then when you're breathing out, pull the knees in toward the ribs, touch the knees together, and lift the feet up a bit higher than the knees. So let's position the legs so our sacrum feels flat, and then add some energy in the core. We're going to add a bit more weight at the top of the hip. And once again, when we're ready, as we inhale, push the knees up, lift the hips a little higher. On the exhale, let their weight sink back onto the mat. And when the hips rest down, take the hands on the knees. And just let the legs open. Bring them toward the shoulders. Release the legs. Relax the weight of the hips, the low back into the mat. And take the attention onto the breath. We'll get a big inhale that inflates the low belly. Nice long exhale. When it comes, sinking the belly in. And now let's bring the knees just hip width apart and let that right foot just touch down on the mat. And then right hand reach for the left foot. And let's gently rock, circle this left leg. So we want the arms to supply the effort. And we want to have the hip and the leg relaxed as we can bring them. And now let's slow down and guide that left knee toward the left armpit. And we'll just walk that left hand somewhere up the left leg, maybe grab just around the ankle, near the ankle. Right hand, same kind of thing, near the ankle or the foot. Just exploring where to hold. What we want to be able to do is soften the left leg and use the arms to gently draw it down. Now, keep an even weight through the sole of the right foot. Now, use the hands and move the lower leg around a little bit. We're not trying to move the thigh that much, but if we move that lower leg, we're going to feel a different stretch in the thigh itself. We'll find different muscles as we move the foot, the leg a little bit here. Being careful with the knee. And now let's release. So just soften, and we're going to return that left foot to the mat. And then bring the right foot up. So we use both hands. So the arms do the work. We're going to rock the leg. We're going to circle the leg. And now let's slow down and guide that right knee down toward the armpit. And then work the hands up around the ankle. And initially, we're just gently drawing that knee down. And then carefully exploring using the hands to move that lower leg around a bit. See what we can find in the thigh. Might be quite different between the two sides, the two legs. And while we're exploring, just keeping that left foot flat. Got a little bit of contact through the mat. And then let's release. Just relax and let that foot return to the mat. And just relaxing the hips on the ground here. We'll do a little adjustment. We will try to position the sacrum as flat as we can. We want to use as little effort as possible. Okay, so when we're ready with an exhale, let's pull both knees in toward the chest. I'm going to start just by holding onto the knees. We'll get them a bit wider apart, and then we're going to make circles through our ankles. So the hands support the legs. As we make these circles, we'll keep our sacrum flat. And then we're going to switch to taking the feet in circles around the knee. And then relax the feet down, and with the hands on top of the knees, take the knees apart and then circle them close. And then slowing down, we'll just bring our knees to hips width. We'll bring the heels up just about knee height. And then let's cross the wrists, so the hands on the opposite knee. And just lengthen the neck. We're going to look down the top side of the body. And then from here, release the right arm, take it vertical, rotate the arm, push up at the ceiling, and then bring the arm by the ear and touch the left heel down, and just scrape out lightly through the heel to extend the leg, and then pressing on the sacrum, let's see if we can float the leg just off the mat. So push out through hand and push out through foot, press down at sacrum. And then we get an inhale, we'll take our leg up, our arm up, press at the ceiling, and then bend the knee. The hand goes back on the knee. And now the left arm is vertical, pressing up. We'll bring the arm by the ear and we'll press out. So we'll touch the right heel and extend. And see if we can float that right leg just off the mats and press on our sacrum. And let's take the arm and leg both vertical, push for the ceiling for a moment, and then bend the knee, put the hand back on the knee, and let's switch sides again. So right arm goes up, we'll touch the left heel down, we'll extend the leg and bring the arm down. So sacrum flat, extending through the leg. And really, we only float the leg up if we can keep the sacrum flat. Some days that's easy, some days that's hard. And just paying attention to that. And with an inhale, we'll bring them both upright, vertical. Press up for a moment, bend the knee, hand goes to knee, and then release the left arm again. Rotate and push up, and then arm goes down, heel touches. So push out by the ear as we extend the leg. Find the sacrum. See if we can float the leg and keep our sacrum engaged, flat to the mat. And we get an inhale. They'll both come up. Press upward for a moment, and then bend the knee, hands on the knee. And then let's take the right arm up again. The left heel touches. We'll lengthen, arm by the ear, leg long, and just float it off the ground if that's okay. Do work with the sacrum though. And then inhale, they're both vertical. And then bend the knee, the hand goes to the knee. And then switch. So the left hand is up, the right heel touches. We'll extend the leg, lower the arm. Reach out through the foot, through the hand. Press on the sacrum. And let's inhale. We'll take them both up. Now bend the knee, put the hand on the knee. And now switch hands back to their own knee. And move the knees wider, a bit closer. Let the legs relax into a place where our sacrum comes flat. And now bring the knees a bit closer again. We're going to work with the knees about hips width. We'll lift the feet a bit higher. So engage the legs and the core. We're going to release the hands. We'll take the hands straight up for the ceiling. Let's rotate the hands and push up at the ceiling. And now see if we can look down towards the top side of the body. And really push up in the palms. And now from here, take the arms toward the knees, just on the outside of the knees, about knee height, and push out through the hands. As we press out, we can feel that work at the low neck, and then carefully just tuck the chin, lift the head. Not too high initially. So pushing out past the knees, and now bring the arms lower down. So we're just above the hips, and then we're going to lift up higher. And so we can come to the bottom of the shoulder blades, keep pressing out through the palms, looking down for the belly. Push a little further. Okay, let's bend the elbows, take the hands behind the head, and really put the weight of the head on the hands, and use the hands to lower the head down, and then bend the knees, land the feet, and keep the hands behind the head. So we'll bring the legs close. We'll keep the sacrum flat. And then just adjust your fingers, your palms, so we're able to keep the head on the hands. The hands can be comfortable. And then we'll just let the shoulders, the arms relax. Okay, so let's let both knees tip right. Turn the head on the hands and look over to the left. And gently so we can keep the arms touching the ground here. So we inhale, we bring the knees up, heads up, and exhale, tip the legs to the other side. Head turns away from the knees, and gently keeping contact through the arms on the ground. And let's switch sides again. So just allowing the head to turn on the palms. And let's switch again. So our knees going to the left side is our last time. And then from there, when you're ready to, come back neutral and then slip the hands from behind the head. Let the neck extend, let the head rest down, rest the arms down away from the sides. Just pause here, give the body a chance to release. And now let's bring the left knee in. So we're going to use our hands. We're going to walk the hands up the left. What we want to end up with is our left hand holding the left foot with the arm on the inside of the leg. And then just rest the head back down once you get that. And then let the right leg go longer. And let's stretch out the right leg so that we just have that right heel. You can press gently on the ground. We've got our left knee bent, holding the heel ideally, or we can hold the foot and ankle where we can get hold of. So press some contact at the right heel and let the weight just roll over to the left side. And then gently press onto that left foot, pushing out through the foot. And then soften the the left leg. Soften the leg, bend the knee, roll to the back, and then let the right hand get that left foot. Rest the left arm down, and we'll roll ourselves to the right side. And then again, gently, carefully push out with the foot. As we press out in the foot, we've got to give the knee a chance to adjust. And then here, take the face toward the ceiling and have the eyes look down the top side of the body. See if you can tip the tailbone in a little bit. And then bend that left knee again. We'll roll to the back. We're going to switch hands. Left hand has the left foot. Right arm released. We'll roll to the left. We'll push out again through the left foot. So we want to stay in touch with the right foot. So we want to feel that little bit of weight at the heel. We're still looking downward, face toward the ceiling. And then again, softening the left leg. Let the knee bend. Roll to the back. Switch hands. So the right hand is going to take the left leg over to the right. The face toward the ceiling. The eyes looking down. So the top hip here, we're on the right side, we're over at the right side, that top hip, the left hip, so you can move it down just a tiny bit. And now let's return to the back. So we bend the left, we roll on our back, and we'll bring both knees up in the chest. Just taking the knees comfortably apart. Give the back a moment to release. And then to switch sides, let go of that left leg, let the foot land, and then we'll work our hand down the inside of the right leg to get hold of the foot, the ankle, where we can hold. And then once we've got our grip there, we'll lengthen out our left leg. Make some contact with that heel. And we're going to let that right leg go over to the right and roll our weight onto the right side. And we're gently reaching out through that right foot. And then soften the right leg, let the knee bend. Come onto the back, bring the leg up so you can switch hands. And we're going to use the left hand to take the right foot over to the left side. And we're going to end up extending down that left leg. Tailbone's a little tucked, top hip moving down a fraction. We keep our face toward the ceiling, and we look down with our eyes. And now let's reverse again. So softening the knee, bend the knee, roll to the back. On the back, we change hands. So we can just rest that left arm out. And then we'll shift our weight to the right side. So find the left heel, looking down the top side of the body, carefully reaching out that right foot. And soften the leg again. Bend the knee, come on the back. Let's go over to the left for our last side, last set. So we keep energy in our low belly. We tuck our tailbone a little bit. Move that top hip down a little bit. And then releasing. So soften the knee, bend and roll to the back. And then bring both knees in. So holding on the knees, gently move them toward the shoulders, relaxing the legs. And then bring the knees just hip width apart And let the right foot touch down on the mat, and then extend up the left leg. So we'll take the hands up the left leg, and we'll just reach up through the sole of the left foot. Get the arms long and let the arms hang on the leg. And then work in the hips and get the sacrum flat in this position. A bit of contact in the sole of the right foot, sacrum flat, push up in the left foot. And now use the arms, see if that left leg will come a little closer. Now we're still working on keeping the sacrum flat. If we lifted the sacrum, bring this leg closer. But let's just stay with the sacrum flat for a moment. A little bit of weight there on that right foot. And then now in the left leg, let's point the toes upward. And keeping the sacrum flat, see if we can draw the leg a little closer. Still working with our sacrum, let's tuck the chin, lift the head, reach up with the toes, lift up and look at that left knee. Okay, now we're not going to roll up onto the back of the waist, but the sacrum, it just gets to release and adjust. It won't be flat here. But keep the sacrum low to the mat. And then let's put the head back down. Now we can find the sacrum. And then let's once again push up through that left heel. See if that left leg will come a little bit closer as we keep our sacrum flat. So sink the belly. Keep contact in the sole of the right foot. And then switch on that left leg where we're going to point the toes up again. Reach up with the toes. On the exhale, lift the head. Lift the shoulders. Lift the upper back. Reach up through the back for that left leg. And then on the inhale, we're going to put the head down, soften the left leg, let the knee bend, and put the left foot back on the mat. Just rest the arms for a moment. And now let's bring the right leg in. So both hands reach the right leg, extend the leg, hands run up the back. We're going to keep the sacrum flat again. We're going to press on that left foot, push up through the right foot. Use the arms to see if the leg will come a little closer. And now point the toes up at the ceiling. And with an exhale, lift the upper body. Move the face toward the knee. And then return the head. Let the head rest down. And then change that right foot. So we're going to once again push up through the foot. See if we can locate the sacrum, locate the left foot. Using the arms, that leg may come a little closer. And then when we're ready, again, we're going to point up with the toes. And then we're going to lift up the upper body. And then let's return head to the ground. And just for a moment, push up in the heel and then bend the knee. Let that right foot come back on the mat. Release the arms and simply gently hold the sacrum flat to the ground. Okay, now let the legs extend. We'll stretch out both legs. And then let's roll over onto the chest. We'll come onto our front body. Now we'll begin with the forearms, one in front of the other, so the forehead can rest on a forearm. Just take a couple of breaths here to let the body rest, find a new place. Okay, let's lift the head up off the forearms. Now working the hips. Let's energize the hips. We'll gently press the pubic bone toward the mat. We'll tip the tailbone. And then from here, reach out the arms out to the sides and then back. And we've got the arms alongside the hips. We're going to spread the fingers, point the fingers back toward the feet, and then look down at the mat for a moment. So on the inhale, lift the chest, reach through the fingertips, and then simply look forward a bit along the ground. For the exhale, melt back down with the face now, again, looking at the mat. And we need a new inhale. We reach back again, lifting up through the chest, keeping the thighs engaged, keeping the hips active. And just moving with our breathing. Let's do one more. So once we're done, let's take the arms back forward, forearms one in front of the other, let the forehead rest. And now let's extend the arms again, but this time have the arms above shoulder height. Spread the fingers and come up onto the tips of the fingers. Energize the hips and press the pubic bone down in the ground. So when we inhale, we'll lift the head, we'll float the hands up off the ground. We won't come up quite as high here. And we'll, again, looking forward for the in-breath, and on the out-breath, touch the fingers down, rest the arms down as we need to, and have the face go toward the mat. And when we inhale, floating the arms, lifting shoulders and chest, and then melting down as we breathe out. And let's do one more. And once we come down, bend the elbows, bring the forearms one in front of the other, have the forehead rest. Okay, now let's lift the head. Now bring the hands about shoulder height. The hands are flat, and then take the palms just a little bit below shoulder height. So we're going to lift again, but we want to avoid pushing too much weight on the hands. We really want the lift to come from the trunk. So energize the hips, engage the hips into the mat. When you inhale, lift the body, and then as you come up, just press lightly in the palms. And on the exhale, melt back down again. So be prepared to shift where the hands are. When you lift up, bring the lift without the hands and just add a little effort from the arms and then melt back down again. Might want to, again, adjust the hands a little bit. If you rotate the wrists, you'll be able to use slightly different muscles through the upper back. And we never just press strongly on the palms. It's just that feeling of contact through the hands, that little bit of effort. And we'll do a last one. And then we're going to release down. Bring the arms forward again. Bring the forearms one in front of the other. Have the forehead rest down. Okay, so lift the head off the forearms. Now the forearm, let's use the right forearm. We'll put the palm flat. So the elbow's bent, the elbow's poking up. Point the fingers probably towards the shoulder, but adjust the angle so we're comfortable in the wrist. But rather than have the fingers point away from the torso, point the fingers toward. The other arm, send it straight out sideways and bring it up from the shoulder. So it's 45 degrees between the shoulder, between the head. And on that arm, we're going to extend it. We're going to rotate the arm and come onto the outside edge of the palm. Yeah, the outside edge by the little finger, the knife edge, and spread the fingers and push out. Now turn the head towards that upper elbow, not the straight arm, the bent arm. And then press on the palm, lift that shoulder, and then push out through that straight arm. And just look for a moment towards that bent wrist, that bent elbow, and lift the shoulder. And now turn the face down toward the mat. We'll keep the face off the mat. So we're pressing gently through the bent arm, pushing out through the straight arm. And as we press through that down, through that bent arm, we're lifting that shoulder blade. Okay, let's soften and release. And then just see if you can slide the hands so they change sides. So now the other arm is out straight, 45 degrees, halfway between head and shoulder. On the bent hand, the bent wrist, the elbow in the air, we press on the hand to lift the shoulder blade. Initially, just look over at that arm. And then when you're ready to, turn the face so the face is towards the mat. So press out through that long arm, press down through that bent arm. Keep the neck long. Okay, let's release, and we're going to reverse again. So just slide the hand so we're back at the first side. Extend that straight arm, spread those fingers, push through the palm, that elbow that's pointed up at the ceiling. Activate that whole arm to lift the shoulder blade, and then simply go directly to the face toward the mat, extending the neck. So we want to let the spine sink downward, even though we're pushing one shoulder blade upward. And let's stay connected in the hips. So there's that gentle tipping of the tailbone toward the mat. Okay, let's release to sink down into neutral. And let's let the arms switch again. This is our last time. So we get the arms in the opposite configuration, and then we push. Really, we're pushing in both hands. And we're pushing that elbow up, letting that shoulder come up, and have the arm effort lift the shoulder. And then keep the neck long, the face toward the mat, keep the hips engaged. And see if we can press evenly on the hips. We're really not trying to lift one side of the hip. That could start to happen. Be aware of that. Okay, and let's release. So we're going to release back onto the back for a moment, bring the hands near the shoulders, and then we're going to lift ourselves up onto hands and knees and go right into child's pose. So move the knees apart, drop the hips back. Okay, now reach the arms out long and then lift the hips. Keep those arms out long. Bring the knees about hips width apart. Let's tuck our toes under and then move the hips just part of the way towards the heels. So just get the hips back behind the knees. And then from there, slide the arms even further forward. And then once you've got the arms long, just work them wider a bit than the shoulders, and then rotate the arms outwards so we can find the knife edge of the hands. Tuck the tailbone, push the hips towards the heels. So we really don't want them to go that far. We just want that movement. And we've got the arms rotated, so we've got that outside edge of the palm, and we're pressing down and forward through that outside edge. The chin's tucked, and we want to keep the head from touching down. So you can really rotate the shoulders. It's actually easier on the shoulders the more you can rotate them. Just a couple more breaths here. Really connect down the arms. Connect back to the hips. Okay, let's release. So swing the weight forward. Let's come onto the forearms just to quickly get the weight off the shoulders. And then once again, dropping back into child's pose. Okay, let's lift up onto hands and knees again. Bring the knees close. And now let's take that left knee over toward the right side. And just not all the way to the right hand, just enough so we can put the left hip down on the mat. Now, once we've done that, we'll get that left foot out and it'll come over to the right side. And then we're going to turn the chest toward the ground. We'll come onto our forearms. Now, once we're down on our forearms, this right leg, stretch it straight down from the spine. The left knee, just make sure it's straight out from the hip. Adjust so the hips are one above the other. So we need a little bit of fiddling here to organize ourselves. So left knee straight out from the hip, knees at 90 degrees, top hip above bottom hip, top leg down from the spine. Once the forearms can rest down on the mat, walk them forward a little bit. We want to keep the ribs off the ground, but we'll stretch forward a little bit. Now energize the feet, the edge of the foot that can press on the ground. Activate, add some contact. Tuck the tailbone. And then turn the core toward that lower side. And we'll lengthen the neck here. And now the top arm, in this case the right arm, send it outward and forward. So it's the elbow's off the ground, the arm is straight. We've rotated the arm, and found that edge of the palm, that knife edge. We're pushing forward, spread the fingers, and keep this energy running all through the body, working with that extended hand all the way down to that extended foot. And now let's release. So relax that upper arm, that upper leg, and just walk the hands in a bit. And then let's shift up onto our hands again and come back onto hands and knees. Now, when we're ready for the other side, we're going to take the right knee over to the left side and sit down on the right hip, and then release that lower leg so we have that leg out from the hip, 90 degrees at the knee. We're going to put the top hip above the bottom hip, extend the top leg down from the spine. The forearms come onto the mat. So we turn the ribs toward the mat, and then find the edges of the feet where we can make contact with the mat, tuck the tailbone, energize the core, and turn the core toward the lower side. And then the top arm, the left arm, reach it forward and outward about 45 degrees. And push out through the palm, press down through the edge of the hand. Okay, and let's release. So draw in the upper arm, the upper leg. We'll get some weight on the hands. We'll walk ourselves up a bit, and then we'll come right onto our back body again. So we'll start with the knees bent, the feet flat, releasing the back down. Bring the arms below shoulder height. And now let the knees drop open. See if you can find the outside edges of the feet and energize the legs to press the sacrum flat on the mat. Use the belly to engage down through the hips to the sacrum. And keeping the legs and belly active, see if you can completely relax the shoulders and the shoulder blades and the arms. And now let's lengthen out the legs. So one at a time or both together as you wish, but scraping down through the feet and then releasing the legs and the hips. Resting the body on the mat. Simply being aware of the breathing. Letting the body move as we breathe. And let's begin to move again, moving with our fingers and our toes, ankles and wrists, lengthening in the legs and the arms. And so we can extend down our back body. And when we're ready with an exhale, we'll bring the knees in, hold on to the knees and rock gently. Let's take ourselves all the way to either side, coming up to sitting. Namaste.